The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. There is safety in a multitude of counselors. You found Joash was doing all right as long as he was supervised. In verse number 15 of 2 Chronicles 24, it tells us about, but Jehoiada, that was a priest, waxed old and was full of days when he died, and 130 years old was he when he died. And they buried him in the city of David among the kings, because he had done good in Israel, both toward God and toward his house. Now after the death of Jehoiada came the princes of Judah, and made obeisance to the king. Then the king hearkened unto them, and they left the house of the Lord God of their fathers, and served groves and idols. No supervision, and guess what? He slipped up from doing that which was right in the sight of the Lord. Not a bad guy, just one who realized I need supervision. Because I struggle with the area with him of giving in to others and wanting to fit in with others. So we find him. Then in chapter 25, we find another man. And that was Amaziah. Now he was 25 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 29 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Jehoiada of Jerusalem. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, but not with a perfect heart. He had a straying heart. He said, I want to do right, but my heart's not in it. His problem was he had a desire to do one thing, but he was doing something else. You'll notice that he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, in the sight of God. And yet the Lord who looks on the heart, he pondered the heart. He said, this man's just doing it like it was a religious duty. Let me say, it's not going to bless your peace. It's not going to bless you with peace and possession. It's not going to bless you with posterity. It's not going to bless you with purity if you have a straying heart. Because a straying heart turned into straying hands. Verse number 14 of chapter 25. Now it came to pass after that Amaziah was come into the slaughter of Edomites, that he brought the gods of the children of Seir, and set them up to be his gods, and bowed down himself before them, and burned incense unto them. He wasn't happy, he didn't have a perfect heart. What's in your heart will show up in your hand. You know what I find sometimes? I ask God protect me from a straying heart. Because I do not want to have straying hands. So protect me from a straying heart. Then we'll find Uzziah. Uzziah chapter 26. This is the last one I'm going to give you. And then all the people of Judah took Uzziah, who was 16 years old, and made him king in the room of his father Amaziah. And he built Eloth and restored it to Judah after the king slept with his fathers. And verse number 4, and he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his father Amaziah did. And he sought God in the days of Zechariah, who had understanding of visions of God. And as long as he sought the Lord, God made him to prosper. Now I wanted you to see Uzziah. Uzziah was a good king. But as he got older, he thought more highly of himself than he ought to think. And he let the pride get to him. In verse number 16, but when he was strong, his heart was lifted up to his destruction. And he transgressed against the Lord his God, and went unto the temple of the Lord to burn incense upon the altar of incense. And Azariah the priest went in after him, and with him 80 priests of the Lord that were valiant men. And they withstood Uzziah the king, and said unto him, It appertaineth not unto thee, Uzziah, to burn incense unto the Lord, but the priests, the sons of Aaron, that are consecrated to burn incense, go out to the sanctuary. Or then he said, Go out of the sanctuary, for thou hast trespassed, neither shall it be for thine honor from the Lord God. And Uzziah was wroth, and had a censer in his hand to burn incense. And while he was wroth with the priest, the leprosy even rose up in his forehead before the priest in the house of the Lord from beside the incense altar. Do you see that these men all started out doing right in the sight of the Lord? But you'll notice that they allowed things into their lives that would cause snares, cause struggles, and cause sin. And they all ended up missing out on what God had for them. God had a possession. He told them, You'll possess the land. He had something for their posterity, for their children, and their children possessed the land. And he had something to give them peace and purity. And they allowed something to get in to separate them from doing that which was right in the sight of the Lord, in the sight of God. Because there is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but then thereof are the ways of death. Proverbs 16:25. Proverbs 14:12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but in thereof are the ways of death. Do that which is right in the sight of God. Don't try to reason it out if you know the Scriptures. If you don't know the Scriptures, there's safety in a multitude of counsel. But you can know what's right in the sight of the Lord. Israel was out wandering in the wilderness. They wanted to do right, but they couldn't figure out how to do right because it didn't seem reasonable. But, can I say, when they came into the land, God said, no more is it acceptable for you to do it by your reason. You need to do it by what is written. You and I need to figure out, are we going to do that which is right in the sight of God, or are we going to do that which is right in our own mind? I told you it's Bible study. I hope that it'll help you to see that good men went the wrong way because they allowed just a little bit of self. And it ended up with a great man like Uzziah spending the last many years of his life on several houses. Or Joseph was one of the kids. What happened after Joseph? Ahab took over, and God brought judgment. Do that which is right in God's sight. Don't lean to your own understanding. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not to thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Father, again, I thank you for the word of God.